Welcome, Phoenix Physics students. This is Robert Austin, your facilitator for this course. And I want to just go through a few things to help you get started on the right foot. First of all, when you get into the class, I suggest you go to messages. We've just started, so you shouldn't expect to see any messages, but if I think you're late on something, I'll send you a note to remind you. So please check your messages daily just to make sure you're getting all the information you need from me. Speaking of information, also look for announcements. Currently, there are no announcements, but if you're listening to this video or watching this video, you already know I've posted announcements, so you'll see it here. Please watch my videos. I try to keep them short. This is probably going to be the longest one I'm going to make, but I try to put in information that I think is useful to you. All right, this is the first week, so you might want to go directly to discussions and post something here. Meet your faculty and peers. This is totally optional. You're not graded on it, but it's useful to me to kind of know where you're coming from. You know, what are you majoring in? Are there any issues that might come up in the next 5 weeks that could affect how you're able to participate? You know, things you might want me to know and others to know. Here are some suggested things. I would also suggest you tell me what your career aspirations are. Why are you at the University of Phoenix? Okay, so that would be useful for me to know about you. Again, it's totally optional. If you don't want to tell me anything, that's okay. If you want to write a long essay, that's okay too. All right, and then let's go here to the current week. So we're in week 1. I try to put a banner up each week telling you to remind you which week we're in. And, I take clips of images, make sort of a banner summarizing the topics of the current week. So here you might get an idea that we're talking about the composition of matter in week 1. So week 1, atoms in motion, that makes sense. You want to know where is the textbook? Well, go into the learning activities here, and there it is. There's the current chapter for you to read. So read the chapter. There's no book to purchase. If you want to, I'm sure you could purchase the book on Amazon or at your local bookstore maybe, but you have it right here. So go ahead and read the assignments. And then you have due Thursday interactive overview. So that gives me a sense of where you're at and maybe what your concerns are. So you just click on that. Try to do it by Thursday. And I also suggest that you use. I'm drawing a blank here. This Chrome. Yes. Oh gosh, I'm half asleep. Yes, use Chrome if you can. Some other browsers, at least certain versions of Edge, Microsoft Edge, don't seem to display this View Assessment button. So if you're not seeing this button down here, this is View Assessment, use Chrome, okay? Chrome seems to be the most compatible with Blackboard. So use Chrome, click on View Assessment. It just says a few things about this week and asks you how you feel. It's just, you're not being graded on this really. If you respond during the week, you'll get full credit. But I usually go through it on Friday of the week to see who's answered it. And it gives me a sense of if you're feeling good about things or if you're concerned about something. So do that. And remember, if you respond to it, and I'll just do that. Here's a test response. Okay. You can save it, but if you save it, it will not be submitted. You need to click the submit button. Okay. I'm not really grading you on content for this assignment, so just go ahead and submit it and get a confirmation that it's been submitted. If you want to download the confirmation, go ahead. Okay, so that's done. Another thing that's due Thursday, a lot of students aren't aware of this, but look at what it says here. Your discussion topic, your response is due Thursday. The full discussion participation is due on the 29th, which should be next Monday. Okay, so next Monday would be the 28th. Now you see it says the 29th for me and it says 1:59. That's because I'm on Eastern time. Everything's based on midnight, the 28th on Phoenix time. Okay, so if you're not living in Phoenix, you might be in a different time zone. So just look at that. Make sure you post your response by then. It even says so here. A lot of students are late on this, and I tell them it's shown in all sorts of places. Due Thursday. Look at that. Due Thursday. So respond. Now, by Monday, you should post 2 replies. So read other student responses, which they should have posted by Thursday, or it could be one of my replies, because I often reply to some of the student responses. So if you want to reply to me, go ahead and post your replies by Monday. And if you post your response by Thursday and you post 2 replies to other student responses by Monday, you're most likely going to get full credit. Okay. So try to the best of your ability to answer all the topics, the bullets shown here, and you'll be fine. If you run a little over, I'm not going to count it against you. If you post below 175 words for your initial response, let's look at that again real quick. So you're supposed to come up with 175 words for your response to this discussion topic. Now your replies says post your replies to your classmates or your faculty member, that's me. It doesn't give a number of words. It just says be constructive and professional, which means don't just simply say, I agree with you, or I like your name, or that's cool. Say more than that, but you don't have to write me a long essay. 75 words is a good guideline. Try to come up with at least 75 words, and you should be fine. It'll be considered substantive. If you're late in your posting, I will deduct points from that. All right, and the other important thing in this class, states of matter. Pay attention, students. States of matter, basic simulation. So click on that. Again, you should see view assessment. You have instructions here, your week 1 assignment guide. So click on that. It will download the guide. If you don't see it down here, in Chrome, it shows up usually at the bottom of the browser. But if you don't see that, then just go to your downloads area. I'm going to go downloads. And there it is. It's a Word document, so open it up. And there it is. A description of exactly what you're supposed to do. Follow these instructions. Okay. It says, for example, in this first one, select oxygen. Now you might notice, let's see if it's still true. It seems to be showing water here. Don't go by the picture. It says select oxygen. So select oxygen. Follow directions, students. It's not that hard. So, and then you're supposed to go through this simulation. So we're looking at states of matter. Select oxygen. I'm not going to go through it all for you, but follow the directions here. All right. You can make it a solid. You can make it a liquid. You can make it a gas. You can change the temperature. You can reduce the temperature. The temperature is shown here. Okay. It says things like Note the reading on the thermometer near the top of the container. That means tell me the temperature that you see. Uh, all right, so give me some temperatures. Tell me what you're doing. Describe what you're doing in your own words in a short essay. And also, very importantly, please pay attention. Don't go to sleep yet. I know you're getting tired. I have a very soothing voice, but don't let that put you to sleep. You have a rubric here. Just click on the rubric. Look at what it says. There are 8 different things here. The first 6 are quite important. So it says describe what was done during the simulation. That's 10% of your grade. Did you thoroughly describe it, or did you partially describe it, etc.? You see that if you don't describe what you did, if you just give me your observations, and I'll give you a low score, okay, for this part. Okay, there's observations. What did you observe during the uh, simulation? What were the atoms doing when you heated them, when you cooled them? What was the temperature? I want information like that. Provide additional questions. Okay, sometimes you think you know, and it may be true. You might know everything. You might understand everything you're doing, but it asks me to look for a question. So please give me a question. Surely you can come up with a question. Okay, so come up with a question. Discuss 2 specific ideas from the reading. That means you should read the assignment, okay, and relate what you observe to what you read. So discuss that. Discuss what the simulation taught you about atomic motion. Okay, so in this case, what did you learn directly from the simulation about atomic motion? Tell me something about that. Show your references. Okay, what is your reference? Well, you might use some other references, but the very minimum, you should be using your textbook. And let's see if I can get to it real quickly. I have a listing of comments I usually like to make. Here is your reference right here. Feynman, Richard Phillips et al., 6 Easy Pieces, Essentials of Physics Explained by Its Most Brilliant Teacher. I expect to see that at the end of your essay. Okay, it's not hard. Just put it at the end of your essay. And if you relate your observations to your reading, you might say, as I saw in Feynman, in parentheses, say Feynman, 2011, page 6 or whatever page it was, um, you know, molecular motion is affected by temperature in this way, blah, blah, blah. And then you say it. But at the end, you will, in the text, you might say, as I saw in the text. I'm doing a lot of this for you. And then here you can say Feynman, 2011. Here you might say, as I saw in page 6. I'm just making this up. This might not be true. Right? And you're referring now, citing your reference in the text, and this is your reference which would appear at the end of your essay. So at the very end of your essay, just once, list this, okay? And if you have other similar references, list them. That's all there is to it. But I want to see that. If you don't give me the reference, I won't give you any points for it. Okay? All right. Where did everything go? Okay. This part here, mechanics, use of language, it's kind of self-explanatory. Okay, try to use correct spelling and grammar. If I see misspellings or very difficult to read sentences, run-on sentences, capitalization errors, I'll dock a few points there. I mean, it's not an important part of your grade; it's only 2%. But try to write as a college student. And this, unless I see something really strange, I'll give you full credit on. But use of language, just use language that's appropriate for the subject matter and the level that we're working at.